Okay, today we're gonna be learning how to play basic chords on the guitar and how to play bar chords. But let's start off with the basics. So, first of all, what you should know is each fret has a number. And fret number 1 starts from here, and each string equals the first fret. So we have the first fret, the second fret, third fret, and then on. Now, we're going to be learning basic chords to start off. And probably the most basic chord we have is an E minor. But we'll get to that. First off, let's start with an A chord. Now, an A chord is pretty simple. We're going to be using 4 fingers in this tutorial, and that is the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky. Now, if you're a beginner, you're probably going to only be using these 3 fingers. But once we get to bar chords, you're going to be using the index mainly to hold down all the strings. Anyway, let's start off with the basics. The A chord. You're going to use your third finger, which is the ring finger, and you put it on the second fret of the second string, like so. And then, directly above it, you're going to put your middle finger on the second fret of the third string. So, ring finger, second fret of the second string, middle finger, second fret of the third string, and lastly you're going to put your index finger on the second fret of the fourth. And there you have an A major. Now an A minor is basically the same, except you're going to put the index finger on the first fret of the second string instead of the second fret. So index on the first fret of the second string, then you're going to put your ring finger on the second fret of the third string, and your middle finger on the second fret of the fourth. So ring finger on the second fret of the third string, middle finger second fret of the fourth string directly above it, and your index first fret of the second. Again, you're going to hold it like this, and you get that crisp A minor chord. Next, we're going to play everyone's favorite chord, a G. Now, a G is a chord used extensively in many songs, and it's pretty simple. Once you get the hang of it, you're going to love it, and that combined with a few other chords can get you your first rhythm going. So a G, you're going to use index finger, and you're going to put it on the second fret of the fifth string, like so, and then you're going to put your middle finger on the third fret of the last string. So index on the second fret of the fifth, and middle on the third fret of the last. Then your ring finger is going to go on the third fret of second string, and your pinky directly below it is going to go on the third fret of the last. So pinky, third fret of the last, ring, third fret of the second, pinky, third fret of the first, ring, third fret of the second, your index finger, second fret of the fifth string, and your middle finger, the third fret of the last. It should sound something like this. Now, to make it easier for beginners, you can take away your ring finger and play it like so. or you can use your ring finger instead of the pinky, and you can leave this open, this string open, so that sounds the same. But to get more tone, you may want to use both these fingers. That is the G chord. Next we have the E major. An E major is held like this. So it's the index finger on the first fret of the third string, and then the ring finger on the second fret of the fourth string, and then you have the middle finger on the second fret of the fifth. So again, index, first fret of the third, then you have ring, second fret of the fourth, and the index finger, the middle finger, the second fret of the fifth. That's an E major. And now for the E minor, the easiest chord in all of guitar. It's two strings, two fingers. Basically what it is it's an E major, and all you do is take away the index finger and you get an E minor. Pretty simple. Next, we're gonna learn a C chord. So, index finger on the first fret of the second string, middle finger on the second fret of the fourth string, and you're gonna have your ring finger on the third fret of the fifth. So you skip the first string, second, you go to the second, you put your index finger directly on the first fret of the second, and then you're gonna skip the third string, go to the fourth, and put your middle finger directly on the second fret of the fourth, and then you're gonna take your ring finger and you're gonna put it directly above the fourth string onto the fifth on the third fret, and it should sound like this. And of course, as always, if you want to add some extra tone to it, you can replace your ring finger onto the third fret of the last string, the sixth string, and in its place, under it, you can put your pinky where the ring finger was, so that instead of having the sixth string open, you can have it adds more tone to your chords. So those are some of the basics chords. One more basic chord we're going to learn is a D major and a D minor. D major, you're going to put your middle finger on the second fret of the first string. You're going to put your index on the second fret of the third, not the second, the third. Then you're going to put your ring finger on the third fret of the second string. So, middle finger is going to go here, second fret of the first, index, second fret of the third, and you're going to put your ring finger on the third fret of the second string. It should sound like this. A D minor is you take your index, put it on the first fret of the first string, and then your middle finger is going to go on the second fret of the third, and your ring is going to go on the third fret of the second string. A Again, your index finger is going to go on the first fret of the first string, your middle finger is going to go on the second fret of the third string, and your ring finger is going to go on the third fret of the second string. Sounds like this. So that's it for the basic chords. Now bar chords are a bit more difficult, and what you're going to need to do is, this may be a bit challenging for beginners at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's an important tool to have. For bar chords, you're going to have to hold down one entire fret, maybe the second, third, fourth, etc., with your index. You have to hold out all the strings. It's going to be challenging at first, but with practice you can get it. Hold them all down, like so. And yeah, so let's start with a B bar chord. Sounds like this. That is a B bar chord. So what you're going to use is, you're going to use your index finger and put it on the second fret, hold down all the strings like so, and you're going to put your middle finger right here on the third fret of the second string, and then you're going to put your ring finger on the fourth fret of the fourth string. Then you're going to put your pinky directly below it on the fourth fret of the third string. So it'll sound like this. And that is a B bar chord. Next you can have an F bar chord, and you're going to use your index and hold down the first fret, hold down all the strings on the first fret, and you're going to put your middle finger on the second fret of the third string. Middle finger on the second fret of the third string, pinky on the third fret of the fourth, and your ring finger on the third fret of the fifth. And you hold down all the strings on the first fret with your index. So it should sound like this. That is an F bar chord. Next we can have a G bar chord, which is played here, and it sounds like the basic G chord except in a bar chord fashion, and that way it's easier to transition between bar chords. For example, I can play a little rhythm like so instead of going like this and getting mixed up. Bar chords make it easier, however they take more time to learn. Anyway, a G bar chord. You're going to take your index finger and put it on the third fret, hold down all the strings, and you're going to put your middle finger on the fourth fret of the second string, which is right here, your pinky on the fifth fret of the third string, and your ring finger on the fifth fret of the fourth string. again, middle finger on the 4th fret of the 2nd string, pinky on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, and your ring finger on the 5th fret of the 4th string. And of course, you hold down all the notes, all the strings for on the 3rd fret. So it should sound like this. Sorry, bit of a mistake there. What you're gonna do is you're gonna move what I just taught you. You're gonna move it up a string to get that. So let me redo it. You're gonna put your middle finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd, then your pinky on the 5th fret of the 4th, and your ring finger on the 5th fret of the 5th fret of the 5th, and hold down all the strings with your index finger. So it should sound like this, just like a normal G would sound. Sorry for the mix-up there. So again, it's not this, it's G major. Okay, now that you've learned a couple of basic and bar chords, we can try playing a simple song that uses all what I've taught you, and that is Hotel California, very, very famous song by the Eagles. And it starts off with a bar chord. So we're going to start off with the B first. And there's a strumming pattern, but that's for more advanced players. We'll just stick to strumming normally. So you hold down the B, which I just taught you, and then all you're gonna do is you're gonna move these 3 fingers up 1 string to get this, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna play an A chord. Basic chord, an A chord, the first chord we learned, and next you're gonna play an E major, after that you play everyone's favorite, the G, and then the D major. Finally you're gonna play the E minor and go back to the B, but you move your 3 fingers up 1, again B, move it up, A, E, G, D, then the E minor, back to the B, and then onto the chorus of the song. You go back to playing the G, but you can also play with a bar chord. But for beginner's sake, let's stick with the basic G. And then to the D. After that, you're going to play the E minor, most simple chord. And the first time you're going to play the B. Second time, the G again, and then the D major, again E minor, that is the E minor, and then the B, move up one, and then the song repeats. So there you've just learned many basic chords and a couple of bar chords, and you've just played Hotel California. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful in a way. And before I leave, I just want to leave you with one last piece of advice. When you're learning guitar for the first time, it really helps to practice a lot. Practice makes perfect. Now, you've heard that term a lot, but there's another term used which I think is more accurate. It's practice makes permanent. So the most important thing is to learn the right way and practice and get it right and get it perfect, than learning the wrong way, which you could play perfectly but it won't sound right. So make sure that you play the right chords, the right notes, and then practice. If I could have been taking guitar for years now, and if I hadn't picked up the guitar once to practice, I wouldn't be as good as I am now. So remember, practice. And once you get better and better at guitar and you start learning a bit of theory and a bit more advanced chords, you'll understand that it's a very fun instrument to play. And once you get the hang of it, it's amazing. So remember, basic chords always come in handy, along with a little bar chord, some bar chords, and you're on your way to being a famous rhythm guitarist. So thank you. Hope you found this tutorial helpful, and hope to see you all soon.